Hello, everyone, and welcome to a live segment of the Radical Democracy Show. I'm your host, Kamali Rose, here today to talk to you about some recent news that has come in on really it was Andrew Yang making this news. And so there's two things I want to talk about. I honestly set up to talk about, his anti-defund the police, pro-cop stance that he took, recently, yesterday, actually, but he tweeted something out earlier that I really just can't let slide either. And so I got to call him out on this one too, because this one is almost somehow, it's equally as infuriating, if not more, because of what's going on right now. So let me just show you. Let me show you this tweet from Andrew Yang real quick here. He says he tweeted out earlier today, 7:30 p.m. Andrew Yang tweets out, "I'm standing with the people of Israel who are coming under bombardment attacks and condemn the Hamas terrorists. The people of NYC will always stand with our brothers and sisters in Israel who face down terrorism and persevere." Okay, so Andrew Yang is out here saying he's standing with the people of Israel. There's people of Israel, and he says he condemns the Hamas terrorists. So look at the language already that he's using. Hamas is terrorists. The Israeli people, they're human beings. Those are human beings. The Hamas immediately terrorists, right? So let's see. And he says the people of NYC will always stand with our brothers and sisters in Israel who face down terrorism and persevere. Okay, so let me show you what's actually going on over in Israel right now, over in Gaza right now. And you tell me, how you feel about Andrew Yang's statements here. So let me just show you. And this all ties together with how the mainstream media covers this as well. Because just wait till you see. I'm going to pull up an article here from the Washington Post, and I just want you to see. This is a shining example of what Noam Chomsky calls manufacturing consent. All right. So this is how the media manufactures consent of, everyday people, and also powerful politicians like Andrew Yang, who's currently running in New York City's mayoral race and is in the number 2 position. And now let me get one thing clear too here. The person that's leading Yang in the most recent poll, Eric Adams, he's a ex-cop, pro-Israel, anti-Palestinian, dirtbag as well. So Andrew Yang is trash. His top opponent, Eric Adams, is trash. But I'm so sick of Andrew Yang. I'm so sick of this dude and the whole fucking Yang gang at this point. If you are supporting Andrew Yang at this stage, don't call yourself no fucking libertarian, no leftist. Fuck all the way off. Like, I'm sorry. Let me check myself. Let me try to calm it on down. Come on, calm it on down. All right. Listen. I'm sick. I'm done with the Yang gang. Like, I'm done with y'all. All right. This dude is absolute garbage. And we got the receipts now to prove it. Okay. And I've been saying this for all too long, but let me just show you how both Andrew Yang and our mainstream media are both trash. Okay. So here's an article out of the Washington Post. And this is regarding the situation. You can see it was published May 10th at 6:30 p.m. All right. So 1 hour. This article was published in the Washington Post. All right. Owned by Jeff Bezos. Let's not forget. So this article was published 1 hour before Andrew Yang came out and tweeted this. So this asshole definitely should have seen this. Okay. And probably did see this. All right. So one, I just want to draw your attention to the title of this thing, because what you see in the title is not what you're going to get in the story. I promise you that. Okay. So right out the bat, they say Hamas and Israel exchange rocket fire following contentious Jerusalem Day clashes. So just right out of the gate, you would assume that, well, Hamas and Israel exchanged rocket fire. I mean, that almost sounds like a market transaction or something. Oh, they exchanged it. Like, we went over and we did a little bartering on the side there. We exchanged some rocket fire. But what that definitely signals to you is that there was somehow an exchange is when you give somebody something, and in return, they give you something that they feel is of equal value to that, right? So the idea is that this was somehow, an exchange is somehow equal. There's some equivalence built into the idea of an exchange, right? So when you use language like an exchange, you're already equivocating the actions by both sides, right? Because Hamas and Israel, okay, it sounds like they exchanged some rocket fire. One fired a few rockets, the other one fired some rockets back, right? Okay, let's see what the actual story reads. So there you go. Let me just pull this up a little bit. Sorry. Israeli airstrikes killed 9 children and 11 others in Gaza on Monday, Palestinian officials said, after some of the worst clashes in Jerusalem in recent years rapidly escalated into a, quote, exchange of rockets and bombs between the militant group Hamas and the Israeli military. You may have missed that in the beginning, but they already came out the gate and told you Israeli airstrikes killed 9 children and 11 others. Okay, so 20 people killed in these airstrikes. 9 of them are children. Now, so what did Hamas do to deserve this? Okay, listen, and look how they play this story out. So they're starting at the end here, essentially, right? They're like, okay, well, Israeli airstrikes killed 9. Oh, that was you're now assuming. Okay, well, they said exchange, so that means that the Hamas must have done something first to provoke this, right? Okay, next paragraph says the Israeli airstrikes came after Hamas fired 7 rockets at Jerusalem, the first time the city had been targeted since 2014, and dozens more at southern Israel. Earlier in the day, so now they get to the point they're saying, okay, well, the Israeli airstrikes came after Hamas fired 7 rockets at Jerusalem and dozens more at southern Israel. What they don't mention here, strangely enough, is that it doesn't appear that there's anyone's dead or injured even from this, because you would think that they would definitely mention that, because they've already mentioned how many people were killed by the Israeli airstrikes against the Palestinians. So they say they fired rockets. Now, remember, you got to remember, when they say they fire rockets, Israel has, because the United States has gifted them all of, we fund them, to the tune of billions of dollars in funding for military funding. So we support their military financially. And then we also give them weapons like the Iron Dome, which is a system that can target the rockets and shoot them out of the air before they ever land. All right. So if you've ever seen it, most of those rockets don't ever land. They're shot out of the sky before they ever hit their targets. All right. So for the Israelis, not for the Palestinians, unfortunately, they don't have any support like that, unfortunately. The paragraph continues. Earlier in the day, so now all of a sudden, so they said it was an exchange. Okay, a little back and forth. You thought, oh, Hamas fires some. No, okay. Earlier in the day, violent clashes near Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem's Old City. So at a mosque, that's a Muslim place of worship. So the Palestinians are worshiping at the mosque here. And so this is a Palestinian, a Muslim religious center here, okay? And you have violent clashes near this mosque in Jerusalem's Old City between Israeli police and Arab protesters, left more than 300 Palestinians injured. 300 Palestinians injured by Israeli police while they're at fucking their religious place of worship. All right. So while these Palestinians are at their place of worship, they are targeted by police and 300 Palestinians are injured. We don't see any mention of a single fucking Israeli police officer being injured here, but you got 300 Palestinians injured, and that's apparently what started the whole fucking thing. So why is this story even being read? Why is it being written this way, where they're playing it out, the events from what happened most recently and backwards? Like they're already trying to confuse the story, bury the lead, and mix it in. Again, all we've heard about, they said it was an exchange. We've heard about 300 injured Palestinians and 20 dead Palestinians, including 9 dead kids. All right. Who could do that? Who could bomb? Who could airstrike America? This is what you got to do, a thought experiment. Whenever they do this, whenever you read about other countries, do a thought experiment and just imagine it was America, right? Just imagine it was America. Does anyone believe that if some other military airstruck America and killed 9 kids and 11 other people, that we would just sit idly by? If some other country, some foreign police forces shot and injured 300 people, would we just sit idly by and be like, oh well, sorry, we're gonna call it? No, you respond to that. And so Hamas firing rockets at Jerusalem is Hamas responding, okay? But here, I just got to take us back now, knowing what you know now. And by the way, just to make this 100% clear before I move off of this, just to make it 100% clear to everyone, this story goes on to say, and they bury it. Third paragraph down. Hamas, which controls the Gaza Strip, warned that it was prepared to escalate further by targeting Tel Aviv in addition to Jerusalem. And by the end of the night, it had fired about 150 rockets into Israel, according to the Israeli military. So even if you take the military at their word, next sentence, it says no fatalities were reported. So nobody dead. And as far as I can see, there's still, they say, an Israeli in the southern city of Sderot. I'm sorry for mispronouncing that. I'm American, and we are, unfortunately, very, sheltered from international knowledge. I apologize. So I don't know how to pronounce that. It's probably a Hebrew word. I don't know. Let me not assume that. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So in Israel, an Israeli in the southern city of Sderot was lightly injured after his car was hit by a Hamas anti-tank missile. Okay, so one Israeli was lightly injured. Okay. And then the response to one Israeli being lightly injured is 9 dead babies, 9 dead kids, and 11 more dead people. After your cops already shot 300 injured, 300 people. I don't want to pull up the video. It's too much to watch, and I don't want to do it right now. It's heartbreaking. It's harrowing to watch the police, just the violence they committed against them. And if you're American or you're a black person listening to this, a black American saying, well, why does this matter to me? Keep in mind that the Israeli police train the police in the US. Okay. So these are the same cops that come here and that we go there and we have them train our police in these kind of tactics, these kind of anti-protest tactics. So it absolutely affects us here, but it shouldn't even, I hope that I don't need to say that to anyone watching this, because it should affect you, even if it doesn't directly affect you. It's, as Martin Luther King said, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. And this is an injustice happening. So should be an injustice everywhere. And we should feel, just as angry and upset about this as we feel about, the U.S. police and the violence that they commit. And I'm going to get to that in just a little bit, I promise you. So ultimately, no fatalities, no Israeli fatalities. Only one civilian was lightly injured. Okay, listen, I'm not saying it's not bad. That's not terrible. I feel bad for that one person, who was hit, and I hope I hope they're okay. And I don't, nobody, I don't want anyone being injured for sure, right? But one person was injured, and again, in response, and that was a response to 300 Palestinians not being lightly injured, just being straight up injured. Okay, so 300 Palestinians were injured. Then they respond, and one Israeli gets lightly injured, and then they feel the need to then respond again after you started this shit with your fucking cops, with these terrorist cops, talking about who's the fucking terrorist here, Andrew Yang. Who the fuck is the terrorist? Okay, so let me show you. I just got to pull it back to Andrew Yang. Yeah, let me just pull this back to Andrew Yang real quick, y'all. So that y'all can see this one more time, because knowing what you know now, like, read Andrew Yang's tweet and tell me this doesn't piss you off. Like, this dude says, I'm standing with the people of Israel who are coming under bombardment attacks. Again, this is after the fucking Israeli police have already shot and injured 300 fucking Palestinians, okay? And he's out here talking about he's standing with the people of Israel who are coming under bombardment attacks. No fucking mention. Apparently there are no people, there are no human beings that Andrew Yang gives a fuck about in motherfucking Gaza, okay? Fuck Andrew Yang. So he says, the people of NY, they're coming under bombardment attacks, and he condemns the Hamas terrorists. So Hamas is terrorists. They're terrorists for responding to 300 of their people being brutally injured by fucking, by cops, right? And they respond to that by trying to say, listen, we're not just going to sit idly by and let you, murder and maim our people. So they respond not even in kind, because all they do is they injure one Israeli. They injure one Israeli, all right? And lightly injure them after 300 Palestinians have already been injured by cops. And this asshole is saying, Hamas, those people that responded are the fucking terrorists somehow. They're the terrorists. Yo, no, Andrew Yang, you're a fucking terrorist for this shit. This is fucking terrorism right here. What you're fucking doing right here, this is you talk about AOC and that bullshit about that those words were violence. No, this is fucking violence right here. This is what violence looks like right here. And then to say the people of NYC will always stand with our brothers and sisters in Israel who face down terrorism and persevere. This is just, it's so disgusting, dude. This is what U.S. imperialism looks like. And you can slap a black or a brown face on it. It doesn't change a goddamn thing. It's still fucking disgusting. So here, and you can see somebody that I follow here. First response that I can see, this is somebody that I follow. Gaijin Girl 2004 says, Yang, as a New York City Jew, I'll go out of my way to make sure you get as few votes as possible. I'm utterly disgusted by your approval of Israel's war crimes and human rights violations. Stay away from my city. New York deserves better than you. You are 100% correct. Absolutely correct. Rome, yes, unholy Rome from Fred Hampton leftists called him a weak ass punk. Somebody's backing up. Yang supports genocide. Proud socialist Ryan Knight says this ain't it. Andrew Yang, Human Rights Watch just released their report that Israel is committing apartheid against the Palestinian people. You are on the wrong side of this issue. You are on the side of apartheid, settler colonialism, and state terrorism. 100%. 100%. Hashtag free Palestine. Like absolutely 1000%. So, like that's just a little taste of the response that Andrew Yang's getting to this. That's from people in NYC. So the idea that the people of NYC, to act like you speak for them, you have no right to speak for them. And yeah, so this set me off, and what Andrew Yang did earlier already had set me off. But then, when I saw this, I can't believe somebody would do this. And really, we haven't. How is this the left wing? People try to claim this dude was left wing. This dude is a right winger. He could run as a Republican at this. What separates him from established Republican at this point? Like he could just run under both of these parties are the same damn thing. Let's be real. And this is why we just cannot reform the Democratic Party, because there's nobody steps out against this. Nobody steps out against this. His opponent, by the way, Eric Adams, that's polling ahead of him in the most recent poll, is again, he's the same shit. He's just a black dude. So they got a black face that they will throw onto U.S. imperialism and police brutality in the United States, and then police brutality abroad. They'll put a black face on it. They'll put an Asian face on it. They'll put a Latino face on that, like they did in that CIA commercial. They will do whatever necessary, and still the U.S. imperialism will continue under these two parties, under the Democratic and the Republican. No matter who, this is disgusting. Come on, this is abhorrent. And I'll show you, what might be, what might be contributing to Andrew Yang's, there were, I'm not even gonna pull it up, but there were recent reports, one out from Spectrum News that said that he is, Andrew Yang is shoring up support amongst Orthodox Jewish New Yorkers. And so he's just on this bend because he wants, it's all about, he's literally, and this is what Cornel West talks about when he talks about these politicians that want to, lick that finger and put that finger to the wind and see which way that wind is blowing. They got to see which way that wind is blowing before they pick a position or hold to a position. And whichever way the wind blows is just what gets them more votes. They're not principled. He's not a principled person. This dude's a capitalist to his core. Like, we should not be surprised when capitalists do what capitalism demands, which is to, capitalism is, empire is backed by capitalism in this iteration of our society, that you need, they go hand in hand at this stage. And so you get this brand of U.S. capitalism and U.S. imperialism that is so pervasive in our society that these people, this is considered somehow a favorable political position in the Democratic Party for him to take. Well, apparently it is, because the top two vote getters, the top two people polling right now in New York City, like, wake up, New York, by the way, like, wake the fuck up, New York, please. I know nobody running under the Democratic Party is acceptable to me anymore, to be quite honest. All right. Nobody, not a single one running under the Democratic Party. But if you're going to pick one, you got Diane Morales, sitting there. She's far better than Andrew Yang and Eric Adams on any of these issues. Okay, so all right, so let me and I can, I could get, let me get to some comments real quick about this topic, and then I'm going to get to the second topic after. So if we want to take some comments right now on this topic, we can. Corey Saylor says, Yang, shut the fuck up. I agree wholeheartedly. Corey says he would also refer to them as non-worth victims. Yeah, absolutely. Non-worthy. Exactly. Unworthy victims. Absolutely. This is what, Noam Chomsky talks about, the worthy victims versus the unworthy, victims of violence, right? So it's who's worthy, who they deem as worthy. And clearly these black and brown people, over there, they're just not worthy. They're just not worthy. But, the Israeli, again, this is part of, it does tie to, it's U.S. imperialism. It is white supremacy. Trust and believe. It's Islamophobic. It's inhumane. Damn it. It's just inhumane. These people are human beings. Love Rain Thunder says Yang is garbage. Absolutely. I literally proposed the title for this video as Yang is trash. Like, I didn't have anything else to say other than this dude is trash at this point. FL says exchange rocket fire. Yes, they shared rocket fire. Shaking my head. Such passive and diluted language. Exactly, FL. And shout out to FL and all of our Patreon supporters. X, everyone. Everyone that's in the comments. Corey, shout out. Turbo. Thank you so much, everyone, for engaging with us. Let me see that comment once more. Turbo GG says, let me see. Sorry. Deconstructing the language of mainstream media is one of my favorite pastimes. Yes, this is serious. It's such a good, and I'm told myself, listen, I swear, y'all, I need to calm the fuck down, and I need to start to do these in a little bit more measured way. But when I see shit like this, it is hard to not have a visceral response to something like this. I use the Malcolm X quote all the time. You've heard it before if you watch the show enough. You cannot expect something cold and detached from somebody whose butt is on the stove. You're gonna get something visceral, and they're gonna holler out because their ass is on the stove. All right, it's burning, it's hot, right? So don't expect people who are feeling it to speak calmly about these issues when you feel connected to these people. They're human beings. You should feel, we should all feel connected to them. We should all recognize their humanity. Israeli people, I recognize that is the humanity of all Israeli people. I also recognize the humanity of the Palestinian people, and they're the ones who are being oppressed right now. They're the ones that are being oppressed right now. So yes, FL says, some folks were talking about my energy, telling me to chill a little bit. I know this topic is really, but FL says the energy's fine. It's upset and stuff. I agree. It's just tough stuff. Exactly. Love Rain Thunder. We should all be upset 100%. So absolutely. Corey says, I'm with you. Yang is ignorant as fuck. Yes. And people, we got to stop doing anything to support this dude for leftists. Like, we cannot do anything to pretend like all of his, even down to his UBI plans. He flip-flopped on Medicare for all so early, so quick. He has no principle. He has no real, all that he believes in is capitalism. That's what he's done his whole life. And he's not even that successful of a businessman. Look at his business venture for America. New York Times just exposed them. They claimed they were going to create 100,000 jobs. So far, they've created 150. And they dumped millions of dollars into that. He got millions of dollars from investors. Meanwhile, I built some dope ass software that helps you study and take notes. And that shit didn't get a dime. It didn't get a dime. All right. And that shit has helped countless people, countless students. All right. But young black entrepreneur can't get a goddamn dollar over here to save my life. So X says, I feel you, man. Let it rip. That's why I'm here. I just want to see you better articulate. Yes, exactly. Like, I get pissed off sometimes. And that's the thing. I told myself, I'm going to calm down. I'm going to start to, I want to be a little bit more, I got to get a little bit more lighthearted and stuff about this. When I'm talking American politics, I feel like I can do it more because I just feel like it's like, in so many ways with the American electoral system that we have now, it's so far beyond the pale and beyond, beyond hope for our electoral system as it is right now, that I'm trying not to get angry about this stuff anymore, because I'm just like, why get angry about it? We should just expect it and laugh at it and call it attention to it, and then sit over here on the side and keep building the sustainable democratic institutions that we need to build up to survive and get the hell out of this capitalist hellscape that we're in. So Red Eye Sunny, shout out to all of our new commenters here. Shout out to everyone. Red Eye Sunny says Yang is equals neolib. Absolutely, this dude is neoliberal to the absolute core. Red Eye Sunny says Yang's loving that CNN money. Exactly. Like this is we cannot support these people on the left. He is a neoliberal. You can't call yourself a leftist and sit here, just doing anything. I do not want to see a single person giving Yang the free media and attention. Like, I'm done with this dude. After this, if you're not ripping him to shreds, do not be, just talking about, oh, well, he's got this UBI program and it sounds nice and maybe we should just talk. Or, oh, the media just hates Yang. And I even thought that, some people came out with a letter, some sort of leftist, and they were like making fun of these, like, it was like Asians against Yang. And they were actually, some of them were actually leftist points that they were making. Like, yo, this dude is pro-police and he's backing, like, and he's anti-BDS. Those are real left-wing stands. Why are we clowning those people and acting like they're not serious while acting like, oh, but this is just some sort of like establishment attack against Yang, as if the establishment is supportive of BDS and Palestinian lives. Get out of here. I saw that shit on Rising on the Hill with Sagar and Crystal Ball. They were dead fucking wrong on that, and they got to stop with this pro Yang bullshit. This dude is a fucking stooge. Sorry, I told y'all. I know. I promise. I swear. I swear, y'all. I'm gonna try to lighten it up. Melon Lord, I finally rewatched Avatar again. I wish I had my Avatar shirt on. I got a really dope new Avatar shirt. Tammy got me a really awesome new Avatar shirt. And it matches my nails, actually, y'all. I gotta show y'all Damn, why my camera taking so long to? There we go. Y'all like my nails? I did my own nails. See, we gotta calm it down. We're gonna do a little break. I like the nails. I did them myself. See the thumbs. But yeah, did those myself. I'm proud. So yes, Melon Lord. I finally remember, and now I know the reference of Melon Lord. I will never forget the reference of Melon Lord ever again. Shout out to Toph. All right. Melon Lord says Empire Files Abby Martin put up a video on Gaza the other day. Haven't finished it yet, but very moving. Yo, Abby Martin does incredible work. She is such a valuable journalist. She is such just an important, crucial, entity in which the work that she does is so vital to a healthy democracy. And she is doing really important, valuable work. Please check out Abby Martin and support her work, because she, the thing she's doing is far more valuable and important than what I'm doing here. I promise you that. And she does amazing work. So I wholeheartedly agree with that. I will be watching that. I promise you. I try to consume as much Abby Martin content as I can. She does amazing work on Empire Files, and it's invaluable. It's invaluable work. I said valuable. It's invaluable. You cannot put a value on that work. It is too important, too crucial. So shout out to Abby Martin. Thank you for everything you do. You are a shining example of what left journalism should be like. And so thank you for everything you do. I aspire to someday have a fraction of the courage that you have and do a fraction of the good that you put into this world. So shout out to Abby Martin, everyone. Corey Saylor says Abby Martin has an incredible documentary about the suffering of Palestinians. I am sure it's incredible, and I will be checking it out. Melanor says, oh, I thought Kyle held his feet on BDS. Haven't seen it. Yeah, I got to find out about Kyle and what his take on BDS is. I'm pretty sure I would hope that he would support BDS. That would be a surprising take from Kyle for me. Melon Lord says, yes, your nails look nice. Thank you so much, Melon Lord. I appreciate that. Red Eye Sunny says they're fire. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. X says, I haven't been watching much politics lately. Burnt out. X, if you noticed, I took a whole month break, a hiatus. It was just a hiatus. I got up every day. I wanted to engage with politics. I wanted to I couldn't even read the fucking news. Like, it's so, like, it's just the burnout that you get being a leftist, being someone who cares about this shit, like genuinely cares about this shit, and it feels empathy and compassion for the suffering that exists in this world, the needless suffering that exists in this world. It is so hard what we all do. And you all deserve, you do not feel bad. You need to take that time. You must take that time. And I'm so thankful for the folks that are supporting us. You don't even know. I'm gonna get choked up here. Like, thank you so much. All right. But please take the time away, step away, disengage. And I'm sorry. And that's why I'm seriously, I am going to be less angry, because like, and when I do this stuff, I want to start to bring more humor into it. I'm gonna have Kwame on more to even things out because he's my comic relief, and I need him around more because it's hard to do the news and engage with it so seriously because it just tears you up inside. And I'd rather be able to at least make people laugh. That's one of the things that I really enjoyed about Michael Brooks. He could talk about these really serious topics, but then somehow find a way. And Tim Black is even really good at this too. Katie Halper, they find ways. They're like stand-up comedians by trade, so they're much better and at that sort of thing. But I hopefully over time I'll practice and I'll get better at that stuff because I want to bring joy to people's lives. Because if we can't fix all these horrific problems in this world, sooner than that, like the least we can do here is to bring a little joy into people's lives somehow, a real substantive, real way, at least, And so I will try to be lighter about these things, but like, it's going to take me a while, y'all. It's going to take me a while, but I'm going to try to have a little bit more, a little bit more entertainment, I suppose, into it. I don't know, just something to try to lighten up the mood a little bit, because I know it's so hard to engage with this stuff all the time. And I understand completely you feeling burnt out and feeling like you just got to disengage from politics for a while. I think we all came up against it when we lost that fight for 15 after losing the force the vote movement, and not getting any movement here on Medicare for all. Fight for 15, there's no talk. We don't even talk about Medicare for all anymore. We don't talk about a Green New Deal anymore. Like, these things are so far from the American psyche at this point, because canceling student loan debt, legalizing cannabis, ending cash bail, like where's any of this stuff? Ending qualified immunity. We're not touching any of the important matters. So I totally understand folks feeling burnt out. Please take the time, step away, get yourself situated, try to engage in your community and with friends and family and loved ones, especially with the pandemic and everything going on still around us. Just do what you can and definitely look out for your mental health, because your mental health is physical health, right? Our brains are a very important part of our bodies, so we definitely want to take care of them, y'all. So please don't feel bad having to step away. I know you'll be back when you can stomach this type of news. So I'll try to bring some more happiness to the program. I promise y'all. X says, when you vent out, man, it's totally okay. It's good, man. Get out of your system. Yeah, sometimes I just got to vent it because it was, I was already yelling it off camera. So I'm just like, all right, I'll just hit record and start venting it, some more. Okay, Kyle's very pro BDS. That's what I figured. There's no way that Kyle Kulinski's going to come out against BDS. Oh yes, Kyle and Crystal actually pressed Andrew Yang on BDS. Yes, actually, and when they had him on a show, and he got so uncomfortable about BDS, it was embarrassing, and you could see how defensive he got in that moment when he was on Crystal and Kyle and Friends with Crystal Ball and Kyle Kulinski. I'm down to come on Crystal and Kyle and Friends whenever y'all want to have me, folks. I'm here for y'all, Crystal and Kyle. I love y'all both. Keep up the great work. Mostly, still don't agree on everything, of course. Never. Nobody can. Okay. All right. And yeah, thank you for that. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna jump to the next story, y'all, because I really didn't mean to. Yeah, I see. FL's YouTube comment. Okay. This is FL's comment, calling the brown Palestinians, many of whom are Muslim, terrorists. How predictable and easy of Yang to do. Shaking my head. Yeah, that's so gross. These are brown people that they're talking about, black and brown people over here. In Muslim, it's racist, it's Islamophobic. It's really disgusting, and it's being done by somebody that you would hope would have would somehow have an identity that would make them more aware of these things. I mean, Israel, I hate to bring up, but Israel is technically a part of Asia. You're part of the same continent. Not that matters in any way, because there's not like unity amongst the whole continent. But here's a country in Asia that is committing human rights violations and just. I don't even know how to phrase it. Like I'm at a loss for words here. And these committing these human rights violations though, and you're not, you're giving them a pass and supporting them and trying to back them on that when you should be condemning them, and using your privilege, your identity here to shield you from the accusations of whatever racism and whatever they'll try to throw at you. I expect Bernie to do it in being able to reject accusations of anti-Semitism. He's he's Jewish. You can't call a Jewish person like that, anti-Semitic, like realistically, come on. So not that you can't be anti-black and black, or you can't be anti-Semitic and Jewish. Of course you can, but we know, the likelihood, come on, let's be real, y'all. Corey Seller says, I stand with Palestine, and I hope we all stand with Palestine here. I certainly stand with Palestine, and will never back down. None of us are free until Palestine is free. None of us are free. All right, man. Yeah. I saw somebody that tweeted out recently that was like, the Palestinians aren't just fighting for freedom for Palestinians. They're fighting for freedom for all of us. All right. And we need to recognize that. Out here calling them fucking terrorists. Fuck you, Andrew Yang. All right. One more Yang story just to show you how garbage this dude is, and then I'm done. All right. Let me pull up the next story here. One sec while I pull it up, y'all. Sorry. Oh, did I? Hold on. No, I'm so sorry. Am I stupid? Okay, here we go. Sorry, I didn't have my stuff together. Sorry, y'all. Thank you so much to everyone that is subscribed to our channel. If you can afford to, please. I don't know the way. I don't know the proper organization or anything. If anyone has the name of an organization to support, the Palestinian people in their fight, against Israeli apartheid and occupation, please drop those links. Let us know. We will add those in. We'll pop the comment up on screen here for everyone to see. So if you know some organizations that folks look into organizations before you support anyone, always try to look into these organizations. I can't endorse anything that I don't, that I'm not familiar with. And I apologize for not having that information and knowing, how to encourage you to support. But honestly, I just think that, being outraged, calling out these politicians, not supporting people like this is what we can actually do here in our democracy, is to make sure. And let me just make clear, Eric Adams, his, Yang's, next closest opponent, he believes all the same shit that we're going to see Yang supporting here. So do not look to him, a black man, to be better than him. He's not. Okay. It's just a blackface over the same, disgusting pro-cop, anti-Palestinian policies and anti-American in so many other ways. All right. Okay, so this is an article out of the New York Times, and so after this was published yesterday, after Times Square shooting, Adams and Yang stress support for NYPD. So there was a shooting in Times Square at New York. Two women and one child were shot. No one was killed, luckily, but 3 people were shot. 2 women and 1 child were shot, and so that's what this is in response to. Essentially, this is what this is in response to. So 2 women, 1 child shot. Police didn't save anyone. They didn't intervene. They didn't stop the suspect from hurting anyone else. Nothing like that. There's nothing like that occurred. Police didn't do anything special here, okay, except show up after the fact like they always do. All right. And this is Andrew Yang's response to this. So, and not just Andrew Yang, but Eric Adams, who's a former police officer, by the way, and currently the borough president of New York City. So Eric Adams and Andrew Yang, among the frontrunners in the New York City's mayor's race, said the shooting underlined the importance of public safety. All right. Let's see what they mean by public safety. And you can see Eric Adams here and Andrew Yang standing behind him there. Or maybe I might have just done a racism. I don't know if that's Andrew Yang actually behind him. Okay. So sorry about that, y'all. But that's definitely Eric Adams there. So within hours of a shooting in Times Square that left 3 bystanders, including a child, wounded, 2 news conferences were held near the crime scene, one by the police department, one by an elected official. The official was not Mayor Bill de Blasio, the mayor, who was in his last year in office. He does not typically appear at shootings where no one has died, a City Hall aide said. He's like, all right, sorry, y'all all got shot. A bunch of people, including a little kid, got shot in the middle of Times Square. Did anybody die? No. No, you can bump that to the borough president. I think he's running for mayor. He needs a little boost up. Let's back our establishment candidate, give him a little screen time. That ain't important enough for me. So he says, yeah, so that's what they say for the City Hall aide. So the official was Eric Adams. the Brooklyn borough president who was running to succeed Mr. de Blasio. All right. So the symbolism of the moment and its political upsides. Okay. So the symbolism of the moment and its political upsides, because we always have to frame this from the perspective of the political upsides for 3 people getting shot in the middle of Times Square. It's got to be political upsides. The symbolism of the moment and its political upsides were not lost on Mr. Adams and a leading rival, Andrew Yang, both political moderates. At least they admit political moderates. All right. They're not trying to pretend here. All right. Andrew Yang is not he's not anti-establishment. He's just a moderate, Democrat, which is essentially a moderate Republican. They're both the same damn thing. They're indistinguishable. Both political moderates. Mr. Yang, the former presidential candidate, held a news conference in Times Square on Sunday morning. Not to be outdone or even matched, Mr. Adams bookended Mr. Yang's appearance with a second Times Square visit on Sunday afternoon. Okay, so they're like, oh, look at Yang is noticing that his rival is getting, there's political upside to him going and talking and speaking out, showing support for law enforcement out there. After 3 people got shot, he's got to come out in support of law enforcement. Now, okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see how they respond. So, they go on to tell them that, they're both running as Democrats. They're running as Democrats. This is the Democratic Party, y'all. All right. This is your Democratic Party here, folks. All right. So, whatever they go into the details of what happened in the attack, whatever. Again, the police did not, stop this person or anything like that in the act or anything like that. So, all right. And apparently he was shooting at his brother. So this was just somebody shooting at their brother. All right. And missed and hit some innocent bystanders. All right. And this is horrendous. This is tragic. I don't want anyone ever being, any violence being committed against anyone ever, anywhere. But this is, this was these were innocent bystanders. They weren't the targets of the shooting. This wasn't like some mass shooting situation or anything like that. Some intentional like mass shooter situation or anything like that. This was somebody, shooting at their brother, missed and hit some innocent bystanders. Okay. And so, all right. So the shooting was frightening, but from a political perspective, it also seemed tailor-made for moderate mayoral candidates like Mr. Adams and Mr. Yang, who are eager to highlight their rejection of defunding the police, a principle that continues to animate the party's left. In both candidates' remarks, they also stressed their belief that New York City's economy could not recover without public safety. So public safety, they just equate apparently with police. Okay. They're eager to highlight their rejection. They're eager to highlight their rejection of defunding the police. They got to reject that. They're eager to as well, right? Because it's so politically savvy to come out against that in this moment. Because everybody knows if you're not familiar, the New York City police budget is $10 billion. And I'll show you some receipts on that. All right. But the New York City police budget is $10 billion. $10 billion. All right. I'm going to show you some countries that's bigger than their entire military budget. All right. Countries like Norway and Sweden. Okay. That's literally bigger than the entire military budget of Norway or Sweden. The city of New York, all right, has a larger police budget. Okay. They're not trying to defend their country from invaders or anything like that. This is a fucking local city police department, $10 billion. And apparently they can't defund that shit. Okay. We can't take a penny from that shit because having $10 billion, somehow people are still getting shot. Even when you throw 10 fucking billion at it, what do we think is going to happen? You think if you throw another 10 billion, somehow what are you going to do? You're going to put a cop next to every single person on the street? How many more cops? What is necessary? Is that literally what we need to have? We need to have one cop for every single person walking around everywhere at all times, following them around, trailing them. That's how we're going to stop crime from ever happening. No, you stop crime by stopping the root causes. All right. What the fuck leads somebody to shooting at their brother? I'll tell you, probably some stupid fucking money shit. All right. Anywho. So Mr. Yang speaks on Mother's Day. Think about all the black mamas out there as you're listening to this. The black mothers of, Khalil Browers, right? Am I getting that right? I apologize if I'm getting it wrong, but I believe Khalil Brower. What am I? Tammy, do I got that right? Khalil. Browder, the famous case of the kid who went to jail in New York City, got locked up, was innocent, actually, it turned out, and the prison guards abused him so much he ended up getting out. Jay-Z helped him, and then he ended up killing himself. Khalif Browder, right? Khalif Browder. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It took me a while to remember that. Khalif Browder, ask the mom, think about the mother of Khalif Browder here, whose son was targeted, harassed, falsely arrested and convicted and thrown into prison by these same police officers. All right. And just keep them in mind as he does this on Mother's Day. So he says, my fellow New Yorkers, if there's one thing I want to say to you, it is this. If there's one thing I want to say to you, it is this. Nothing works in our city without public safety. And for public safety, we need the police. Mr. Yang said, my message to the NYPD is this. New York needs you. Your city needs you. Excuse me? What the fuck did the police do? Like, what the fuck? Why does... Now we need to improve the lives of people so that they're not forced into conditions in situations where they're forced to do, drastic, stupid, foolish actions like this, dangerous, foolish actions like this. No. We don't got to do that. It's not that. That's not the issue. We just need more cops. And somehow the police are saving. Again, $10 billion police budget in New York City couldn't stop this crime from happening. Why the fuck do we need to put any more money into that department? Why do we think that putting more money or more resources into that department is going to help any situation? If it couldn't stop this, what's it going to stop? I said I wouldn't be so angry, but y'all, it's hard to do. Okay. So, he claims that for public safety, we need the police, even though the police, look at the numbers of stop and frisk. Look how many hundreds of thousands of black, young black men and women they stop and frisk, harassing them, constantly harassing them, targeting them, harassing them. Broken windows policing. That was New York. That was New York City. So, think of those people. And he says, do you think those people feel safe? Do you think they feel safer? You think they're feeling public safety with more cops rolling around? The same cops that because they already got too much fucking money. They got too much fucking time on their hands, so they can roll around in poor black and brown communities, harassing poor black and brown kids. So that you think that's making anybody feel safer in black and brown fucking communities? So. Just continue on, he says, Andrew Yang continues on. The truth is that New York City cannot afford to defund the police. At this point, I must stop and show you the receipts on whether or not New York City can, quote, afford to defund the police. All right. He says New York City cannot afford to defund the police. Okay, Andrew Yang. If that's true, if that's really true, then please, sir, explain this to me. On Business Insider, from August 12th, 2020, the real cost of the police and why the NYPD's actual price tag is $10 billion a year. $10 billion a year, okay? So Andrew Yang says, New York City cannot afford to defund the police. Bro. Are you fucking kidding me? $10 billion? You can't afford that shit? Yo, give me the 10 billion. I'll show you what we can afford with 10 billion. Send that my fucking way. I guarantee you we will be solving problems like this. You throw 10 billion. Solve problems like homelessness, poverty, fucking debt. Solve those problems, all right? Solve those problems and then see what happens, all right? All right, so okay, and let me just show you one other thing, just to put this in perspective. All right, let me just help you put this in perspective here. All right, so here's a list of countries, military budgets. So this is the defense spending, the military spending by country. All right, for 2021 for this year. All right, keep in mind that New York City has a $10 billion police budget. All right. So this is the defense spending by country. All right. Not police spending, defense spending. Their military, all right? Of course, you see US up there, $740 billion. China is the next closest country, and they have 4 times the population of the United States. There's is 178 billion. I know that's not the point of this, but I always have to point that out. That is essentially, 4 times we are spending 4 times the amount of China, even though China has 4 times the population that we do, all right? So per capita, that's off by a factor of 16 times, all right? Just for those that aren't, math nerds here. All right. So just to give you an idea of what a $10 billion police budget gets you, that's literally the military budget of countries like Egypt. And it's more than the budgets of countries like Ukraine, Indonesia, Norway, Sweden, Vietnam, which is like the size of like California. All right. So Vietnam's like the size of California, of whole ass California. Vietnam, a country the size of California with a similar size population of California. Okay. This is perfect context. Okay. Vietnam is the perfect. They spend $3 billion less dollars. Okay. Than the New York City, not state, city police budget. All right. And Andrew motherfucking Yang is telling us that they cannot afford to defund the police. No, fuck you, Andrew Yang. They can fucking afford it. If anyone can fucking afford it, it's New York fucking police department. I mean, you could just see Mexico, Switzerland, Denmark, all the Scandinavian countries, Libya, these are whole ass countries. All right. Whole ass countries. Afghanistan. All right. It's why go on? All right. You've seen it all. So that's comparing a police budget to a military budget. And Andrew Yang is out here talking about that New York City can't afford to defund the police. This dude is, I'm telling you, he is right-wing trash. He's garbage. He deserves no credit from the left whatsoever. If I see a fucking leftist crediting this dude for anything from this point forward, I'm calling you the fuck out. I'm calling you out. I don't care if we cool with each other. I don't care if I'm calling yo ass out. Don't let me see it. You are not a real leftist if you are out here supporting Andrew Yang in any way. I don't want to hear it anymore. Especially when he's running inside the Democratic Party. It's disgusting. There's, this party is so far gone. It's beyond, they are beyond reform. They're beyond hope. They don't deserve any kind of support from, any black folks. I don't know why black people are still supporting the Democratic Party. Why anybody would be supporting Andrew Yang at this point. It's absurd. We cannot support this dude. He is, he's going to, fund the people that are going to destroy black and brown lives. He's going to do nothing. This is $10 billion. They will do nothing to with a little $2,000, universal, no, not even universal, a $2,000 basic income. It's not universal. So he's just calling it a basic income. And it's really, yes, it's really like it truly the most basic. It's basic as fuck. Yeah, basic. That's a Good Place reference for anyone that it loves that show as much as I do. That is such a good show, y'all. So much better than Schitt's Creek. So Red Eye Sunny says, if these neolib Dems are so afraid that defund the police is non-viable, why not just explain that the actual policy is going to be a gradual process? Yeah, like I am so excited. This was perfect timing, for this fucking nonsense from Andrew Yang. Tomorrow on the show, you can go on there. You can see we have it already scheduled for a 7 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time. I'm going to have a rapper / activist / journalist / publicist, organizer, Awkward is coming on the show to discuss. He is an abolitionist, and he's also Jewish Palestinian. So I mean, I am eager to speak with him about some of these issues, and maybe we can even get into a little bit about, I don't want to do that to him just because of his identity or whatever, but I'm sure he'll he might have something to say about something so heinous as what's going on, these events sort of in Gaza right now. So maybe we can talk about that. But we're really there to talk about prison and police abolition. He's an abolitionist rapper, and I'm really excited for that conversation. So definitely be there for that tomorrow. It's going to be a great conversation. We'll try to save some time at the end for live questions for Awkward if you have any, and then after Awkward takes off, I'll still stick around and answer more questions if you have any for me, or we'll chat and stuff after the fact. So I'm really looking forward to it. Super excited about it. Look out for it. You can hit the reminder button on it right now. It's there. It's scheduled on our channel. So just go check it out. Make sure you hit the reminder button so that you'll get a notification whenever it goes live. And again, it'll be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll be talking police and prison abolition. And I am super excited for that conversation, because this is the time. These police are beyond reform, but people need to get an idea of what abolition looks like and what we mean when we talk about defunding the police. And those are just it steps along the way, right? Defunding the police is a step along the way to abolition. And even in the defunding of the police, we know it's we don't want it to be so incremental, but we know it has to be somewhat gradual. It's not like we're going to wake up tomorrow and police budgets are going to be zero in the United States. Like, nobody is kidding themselves, and we're not just going to get rid of the entire institutions overnight. Like, that's not happening. And we'll talk to Awkward about what that process will actually look like. So we'll save some of that conversation for tomorrow, and I hope you'll be there to engage with that Red Eye Sunny and talk to us there, because I think you'll enjoy that conversation for sure. I'm really looking forward to it. Ryan Chan says, what's your opinion on China, radical democracy? I've shared my opinion a bunch of times, so you'll see, you'll watching my videos, you'll get this from me from time to time. I think that they are their economy is something that we should look at and see that we should, admire certain aspects of it, recognize that they are the fastest growing economy in the 21st century. I believe they are a state capitalist economy. They call it socialism with Chinese characteristics. It's really what Richard Wolff and myself would describe as state capitalism. It's just capitalism with some more support from the state, and with state, a mix. It's a mix of both state businesses as well as privately owned businesses, some both Chinese and foreign businesses, United States and all around. I think that the Chinese are another, on China and the Chinese people. I think that, I stand in solidarity with all working class people everywhere. So I am always 100% in solidarity with the working class and the poor people of everywhere in this world. So I am always in solidarity with those people. I believe our futures are all interconnected, and so I'm with those folks. I do not, I don't subscribe to their version of what they call, communism. I don't believe it's actual communism. I don't believe it's even it's not the socialism that I certainly advocate for. I believe in workplace democracy, workers owning ownership over the means of production. That's what socialism is to me. Democracy in the workplace, one worker, one vote. So that's sort of my really broad sort of strokes of China. I've never been to China. I cannot talk about a lot of the issues that go on there, other than what I read in a very biased media, right? So it's very difficult to parse some of that. I believe that no government is perfect. There's always, within every government, things that we should criticize. The U.S. government, their treatment of migrants and South American migrants and refugees here in this country. Similar things sort of happening in China with the Uyghur Muslims as well. I just want everyone everywhere to be treated like the full human being that they are, and get to have basic self-determination and those basic sort of liberties and freedoms to just exist as their whole selves, as however they see fit, as long as they don't directly harm another person. And so, yeah, I hope that's a general thing. I don't see them as a boogeyman. I don't think that we should be sitting here doing Cold Wars with them. I think that they're going to overtake the United States. The United States empire is crumbling. China is on the way up as the United States is on the way down. Their economy outpaces ours in every way possible, and we shouldn't pretend like that's not real. We should look at what they're doing correctly, and it seems like they're the sort of government influencing more. It helps, it protects, it guards against certain terrible things in capitalism a little bit more. Their workers have seen wage growth of like 4 times at the same time that American workers have seen 0 wage growth in over the course of this 21st century. So certainly things to be admired about China. And and I forgot, everyone should check out, by the way, Sabby Sab's recent live stream. We did a live stream earlier. You can find her channel. It's Sabby Sabs on YouTube. You see that written out right there, right down below, right there. So check out Sabby Sab's recent live stream. I joined her show earlier today, actually, to talk about being a Black leftist. And we talked about, I know there's a few issues that we mentioned around, and we talked about defunding the police and our feelings on the way that was sort of diminished and pushed back against by liberals and the Democratic Party, this idea of defund the police. And Joe Biden was very antagonistic towards defunding police and said he would not do it. In fact, he would increase funding to police, and that's exactly what he intends to do. And we got to call attention to that kind of garbage, because this is why this is what I hate about the Democratic Party. Their policies are almost identical to Donald Trump's policies, except nobody criticizes them, in the mainstream media, and like CNN and MSNBC, they're just not critical, and NBC and all these, they're not critical of Joe Biden. So, but definitely check out that podcast earlier. It was so much fun chatting with all of them, just talking, with other Black leftists. And so definitely check them out. Support Sabby Sabs. I became a patron of her show to throw some support behind other Black leftists, particularly Black leftist women. So we definitely need to be making sure that we what do you call it, like raise their voices up and lift every voice and sing. And so we want to lift every voice up. So just trying to lift up every voice that we can. So shout out to Unapologetic. Nick, Socialist MMA, he's one of the Fred Hampton leftists. Check out his channel. Check out Unapologetic on YouTube. Great channel. And Sabby Sabs as well. She does some really cool interviews. So check out all their work. They're doing great work. All of these, there's a ton of Black leftists doing a ton of great work. I certainly should not be the only Black leftist you're listening to. If I'm the only Black leftist you're listening to, you're definitely doing something wrong. You got to listen to more. There's a whole diverse range of Black voices and Black leftists, and you got to listen to a diverse range. I'm sure you consume a range of white leftists. We got to do the same with Black leftists, and indigenous leftists, and Latino leftists, and and women leftists, and non-binary and queer and trans leftists, and we got to get more voices, more diversity within our ranks as well. We should be showing, our coalition should look like the communities that we live in, for sure. All right. X says MSM always going to toe the line. Of course. They will always do that. Absolutely. So to everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please do us a favor, hit the like button down below if you haven't already done that. Hit the subscribe button. Share this out on social media, because we just do not get the kind of traction that so many other garbage ass channels get. And so we need your help, your support to help grow the channel, spread the word, help us gain some more support. We need the financial backing to survive. So shout out to all of our coffee supporters and patrons. We prefer coffee donations because we get to take more of the money goes directly to us instead of being taken out by this intermediary capitalist institution. We are building democracy in the workplace here. We recently voted on some, we held a vote recently just on whether or not to, and we were talking, and we realized we actually got to include our Patreon patrons in our voting. So we're trying to figure out the logistics of that as well. So we're trying to to continue to expand democracy and to try to really bring that not just within the workplace, but also to our audience as well, and allow them to have some democratic input into what we do here on the show as well. So big massive shout out to Melody B. Thank you so much, Melody, for your support on Patreon. Thank you so much. Melody B supported us for $1 a month. And that helps so much when you're talking about a small channel like ours. $1 goes a long way. And it's a social proof as well. It's a stupid thing, but this is how our brains unfortunately are wired because of all the social media we consume and stuff. When people see that a lot of people support something, they're more likely to support it. So if 100 people contribute $1 a month, for some reason our brains, when we look at that number, they go, oh, 100 people support this, I should probably support this too. And for whatever reason, that's the way it works. I wish it didn't work that way. I wish we weren't being tricked, and capitalism wasn't tricking us into these terrible things all the time. Do not support if you can't afford it. If you're struggling and can't afford it, don't worry about it. You can support us by liking, sharing, subscribing, and just please help promote the show. Red Eye Sunny says, will there be a Discord? There is a Discord. If you sign up for $5 or more, you'll get on Coffee or Patreon, you'll get a link to our Discord. We'll send you a link to our Discord. It's just the only reason that we limit it there for now. I'm probably going to open it up to all patrons. Honestly, I think I'm going to open it up to all patrons soon. So even if you contribute just $1 a month, as long as you're a recurring patron, I think we're going to open up to all recurring patrons very soon. I just did that $5 because it takes a lot, you know, it was taking a lot of time to sort of engage, and that takes time, and you know, that's labor too. And so like it's tough. I just want to be able to give everyone the attention that it deserves. So there absolutely is a Discord. If you sign up for $5 a month or more right now, you get access to our Discord. So please support. We really, really deeply appreciate it. We definitely need the support. So, we will be incredibly grateful. We'll give you a shout out on stream to anyone that donates. I'm doing a quick check right now just to see if we had any. Usually, Tammy will let me know anyhow, because she's good about keeping an eye on it and stuff. So I think we're probably cool. But thank you to everyone who supports and helps out with that. We couldn't do this without you. There's no way. We just cannot do it without you. So thank you to everyone. X, FL, Mark McKeever, Steve Alvarez, who am I forgetting? Come on. Melody B, Kelly, Melon Lord, there's some new folks. So I don't know all the names anymore. I used to, it was a shorter list before, y'all. So anywho, y'all all know I love you all. I seriously do. I got nothing but love for all of you. So thank you so much for all your support. I think we're gonna sign off here. Once I'll just do a quick check. You know what? I'm not logged in on Patreon right now. I was gonna do a quick check just to give a shout out if I needed to. But thank you so much to everyone. I think let me see. Let me just pull back up stream. Corey Sailor says anything for Tammy. I mean, Kamali is cool too. Nice. Yes. Please. I seriously I want to pay Tammy for all of her labor. And so the money that you give us, I mean, one thing I did, I supported Sabby Sabs, and I hope to just like reroute some of that. Is she's a Black leftist woman, and I just want to show some solidarity. So I signed up on her Patreon. I think I might subscribe with the Radical Democracy Patreon. So it's kind of just like, by supporting me, you're supporting two Black leftists. Essentially, you're supporting me and supporting Sabby Sabs. I wanted to cover her. She just started using StreamYard, so we want to, I covered her. The monthly payment for StreamYard is like $25 a month. So maybe we can talk about it, and if everyone votes and is okay with it, I will just use some money from Radical Democracy to do it. Because I feel like it's like, why not? That's solidarity. Like, let's build solidarity and not just talk about it, but let's be about it, right? So Red Eye Sunny says, yeah, that's fair. I can't right now, but cannot wait to watch more. You're doing great stuff. Thank you so much, Red Eye Sunny. And I hope to see you around and engage with you more. You'll see, we try to engage with our comments more so, I feel like, than other, podcasts that I have seen and watched and visited. And so we try to do more of that and engage with our community. We're working on doing something where I keep on saying it and I keep forgetting to do it. And I just want to do it, where I will drop a link to a guest link to the stream in the description box of the videos, and that way folks can join and sort of do a sort of a live call-in show where you would be able to, we'll be able to have you on, and you could actually like pop up here on video and talk to me, and just ask a question, go on a rant. You can have the mic and you just say what you want to say, whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's not like completely abhorrent. I'll let you say your bit. And we can engage and discuss or whatever, and we'll try to. So we're going to open that up and start to do that soon. It's just literally I keep forgetting. I want to do it like every time, and then I just remember at the end of the stream when I talk about it. So hopefully I'll remember that. Exactly. Corey Sailor says Tim Black style. Exactly. I want to do that eventually. I'll just do it with like a call in as well, like have a phone number. I don't know. In order to do that, I think I need more equipment, like sound equipment, to do like call in shows. So in order to do that, I would need more support. Like we'll have to do like a fundraiser for the show. So Corey Sailor says, when Dogecoin makes me rich, I got you. Thank you. Yeah, I know someone that bought $11 worth of Dogecoin back in the day, and now it's worth $1,400. So it's so goofy. It's just ridiculous. This cryptocurrency has no real value to it whatsoever. It's not actually for anything, but it just proves that, money isn't real. All right. So thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. I really want to cut it because we've been going way too long. All right. So like, subscribe, share. Thank you so much to everyone. You're going to see a lot more of me now. We're doing Thursday book clubs with the Vanguard. I was on with Sabby Sabs earlier today. Came here for a live stream. I got Awkward coming on the show tomorrow. That's going to be a great, amazing conversation. You do not want to miss that. So please be here tomorrow. If you have any questions and you're a patron and you're in the Discord, send me questions. If you have any questions, you can check out, go to the link on our channel, on our YouTube channel, and you'll see links to all of Awkward's, the 10 demands for justice that he does, his personal page. You can learn more about him, and you can also, you can also see him, like get an idea of what his politics are. So if you have any questions about abolition, please, if you're a Patreon patron, put it in the Discord, or a coffee patron, put it in the Discord, and I'll have a list of questions. We'll ask them. Some of the patron questions will get priority because they're supporting us, and we need the support to survive. So I hope everyone understands that. Those questions will have a priority. But if we have enough time, we'll take audience questions as well. So if you're watching us live, you can ask questions to Awkward and myself. We're doing that tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then I got a book club with the Vanguard on Thursday that will be co-streaming to both of our channels. The Vanguard is blowing up. Shout out to the Vanguard. Congrats on all that they're doing. They're doing some great work and getting a lot of recognition for it. And so we'll be on with them. Might join their show before the book club, just in case. We're reading Democracy Matters by Cornel West. It's sitting around here somewhere. Whatever. It's sitting around here somewhere, I promise. And so we're reading Democracy Matters by Cornel West. Check it. You definitely check out our book club. We co-stream to both of our channels. So watch it here on our channel because we need the support. And read along with us if you like. If this is great. It's great stuff, and it's so relevant because it specifically is focusing on democracy, but as well as U.S. imperialism, specifically the effect on Palestine, Israel, and the Palestinian people. So please, if you can and you got the time, read along with us and engage with us in the book club. And I will have, I'm back in full effect, y'all. So we'll be doing a lot more. Kwame will be joining us, I think, with Awkward tomorrow. So we got Kwame and Awkward on tomorrow. Kwame from Racefist Media. Should be a really great conversation, y'all. Really looking forward to it. Catch y'all then. Do we got any? Corey Saylor says, I love you on Vanguard. Thank you so much, Corey. Really appreciate that. It's so crazy. Like I go on the Vanguard, and it's like one of their videos literally gets like over 100 times. Like my videos will get like a lot of them will max out at like 100 views. I'm not even gonna lie, 100 views. I'll be real. Their videos get like 10,000 views. It's literally like 100 times more than mine. So like, going on their show is huge for me at this point. We knew the Vanguard. We had the Vanguard on our show when they had 300 subscribers on their channel. They now have 11,000. They've left me in the dust. They do. They had Noam Chomsky on. They had Noam Chomsky on. Brianna Joy Gray. I'm doing more interviews. I got one of the Fred Hampton leftists, James Fauntleroy, is coming on next Tuesday to talk with me. We're gonna have we got a lot in the works now. We're gonna have way more guests on now. I finally just sort of shed my fear of reaching out to people and broke through that, at least. And I've been reaching out to a lot of people. We got a lot of guests coming on, a lot of different new content, trying to bring ourselves outside of the realm of electoral politics all the time and start to step into some of the revolutionary politics. And so we'll be talking more of that, talking about workplace democracy and worker cooperatives. Hopefully we can get this historian on here to talk about some Black worker cooperatives as well. All right. So, all right. I think that's it. I think that's all we have time for. Thank you so much to everyone. Oh, nice. Corey Saylor says, I didn't know you guys had Vanguard first. I saw both of you separately, and I was like, oh, shit, Kamali on Vanguard. Nice. That's dope. Yeah. No, I reached out to the Vanguard before. Like, I was the first person they said that ever reached out to them to come on their show. So that was cool. I was like, that's so cool. Like, that it was like, I feel like, I discovered them before, no, but it's cool. It's worth it. It makes perfect sense to me. I can see the work that they do. It makes perfect sense that they're getting where they're getting. I just want to see our channel getting, starting to get there, because it definitely deserves it. This channel definitely deserves it. We got great people here. Tammy, we're gonna get Tammy on the show soon too, I promise y'all. But we got great people here, and so we definitely deserve it. Yeah. So, and we need to build workplace democracy and collective media. All right. Thank you so much to everyone. Shout out to all of our patrons. Shout out to Corey Saylor. Shout out to the Vanguard. Shout out to Fred Hampton Leftist and Sabby Sabs and Unapologetic and Nick, the Socialist MMA. Thank you so much to everyone. Shout out to X, who says, hey, Kamali, I love you, man. I love you too, comrade. Love you so much. Seriously, love you all. Thank you so much for everything. Check out those nails before y'all go. They're dope. I did them myself, and I'm super proud. I mean, do y'all know how hard it is to do your nails with your left hand, with your weak hand? Like, that is not easy. Yes. And thank you to Tammy. Shout out to our super producer Tammy for all the work that she does behind the scenes. It's I couldn't do it without her. I couldn't. No way, no how. I could not do it without her. So thank you so much to super producer Tammy. And we got to pay her. We got to pay her, y'all. So please support the show if you can support, help pay this woman's, this poor woman of colors for her. Poor woman of color needs payment for her labor. All right, y'all. So please do it. All right. And then when we got some left over, we'll pay this poor black guy some too, hopefully, right? Corey says, bruh, let me do your nails. Wait, you like those though, right, Corey? Like you like those though, right? You like those, right? Because those are dope. Like, I hope you're seeing that. I hope y'all are seeing. That's a clean nail job, all right? That's a clean nail job, all right? So I hope you like that. If somebody subscribes for, like, I don't know, we'll put up a Patreon tier where if you subscribe for enough, I'll do your nails. All right, I got you. Like, I will do your nails. All right. And yes, if you got some skills, Corey, we'll link up. We'll link up, Corey. You got some skills. All right. I want to see what people are about. I've been painting my nails for, like, what is it, like over a year now. I would say over a year. But a little bit over a year. So I'm about to start learning dips. These are gel right here. So these are gel. These things are, yeah. So all right. Thank you for letting me have fun with that, y'all. Really enjoy our audience. Really enjoy everyone here. Shout out to all y'all. It's so good to be back. Sorry I missed all y'all, and I'm sorry. The burnout is real. If it happens to you, do not feel bad. Disengage. Take some time off. Refresh. Rejuvenate yourself. Take a spa day. Like treat yourself. All right. Take care of yourself though, and take care of all yourselves. Fuck Andrew Yang. Free Palestine. Fuck the Democratic Party. All right. We